This is the Effing One podcast with Adam and Luke.
As we talk everything Formula One motor racing.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast. That's a fact. It's now backed by science. In the post-truth world we are living in, we went old school with a Bunsen burner, test tube, a petri dish, and the results were 84% conclusive. That is proof enough for us.
Good enough for me.
We're not sure which way that 84% went, but that's fine.
It's damning.
It's damning evidence to the jury. And just when we thought we had already visited enough French-speaking Grand Prix, guess it turned up. France just turned up. Yeah, it did. And the Paul Ricard test track turned up. No one knew where they were going, what corner or track they were taking, but somehow Lewis Douche Canoe Hamilton followed the blue runoff strip to take the win, followed by mad headbutting Max Verstappen and Kimi, pass me the vodka, Team Orders Raikkonen third. So to dissect this delicious baguette covered in stinky fromage of a race, we need to chat to the man that loves everything French, but unlike the French, he has no idea how to surrender. Bonjour, Luc. Comment ça va?
Ça va? Bien?
But, yes, before we jump into the French stuff and get really hoity-toity, I have to just say, we are in the native outfits of the next race because we're doing a 2-in-1. We're doing a post-France and pre-Austria race. So we are wearing the native outfits of Austria. That's tradition here. Luke is in the lovely lederhosen. Fantastic. Will you be doing the thigh-slapping dance for us?
Of course.
Perfect. Das ist good.
Ow.
You're fantastic. And yes, if you're wondering, I am wearing the exact replica of Maria's outfit from Sound of Music.
You look dashing.
This dress fits like a glove. And I feel like the prettiest girl of the ball, I got to tell you. You just keep your hands to yourself, mister.
You're man pretty.
I am 16, going on 17. Don't touch me, Lucas, please. Keep your hands above
Need to be a bit older there, mate. Need to be
desk. So that's our tradition here at F1 Podcast. We have to wear the traditional outfit of the country that we're racing. So it's Austria. Feeling great. Feeling wonderful. It's breezy, this dress. It's very fresh.
You should have worn underpants, though.
There's a lot of hair, so that's kind of like insulation.
Kind of.
It's not the same. So, Paul Ricard, the French GP test track. We had, let's be honest, we had some low expectations of this track, Luke, coming into it.
I didn't. We said here, we pointed to the track that no one could see, and I said there's going to be overtaking. There's overtaking here, there's possibly overtaking there.
Yep.
And we were right.
So, you were happy with the race?
I was. Were you?
I was. Lots of overtaking. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
Talk us through, can you do your more infamous quick rundown of the race and the lights go out? Are you set? Give us a little run through and we are racing. Go, go, go!
No, I'm not going to do it this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, lap one. Wow. That was a bit crazy, helter-skelter. The Force India and the Haas of Grosjean and Ocon just taking off at the start. Ocon's minding his own business, and then Grosjean comes over and just drives into the side of him.
Nice.
I saw that live. I'm like, what's he doing? And then, of course, Sebastian, the finger boy,
Sebastian
stuck his finger up the other Finn Bottas, spun him round, broke his front wing. Bottas has a puncture. Everyone just scatters everywhere.
Yep.
Paul Ricard,
It's carnage.
There's no gravel traps. There's no walls. It's just everyone just scattered, like seagulls going for like they'd just been scared. They all just ran off, came back on the track, kind of.
Kind of the benefit of having such a wide circuit with so much runoff, you can just skelter.
Just go wherever
and
you
it's
want.
fine, yeah.
Like, no. Max just went nah and just bagged it straight to turn 3. Like turn 2's not there for me anymore.
Yeah.
Turn 3's where I'm going.
Yeah, right.
He had no option. Like really, if there was a wall there, he'd be kind of stuck there because both. Yeah. It was drifted over in front of him. Bottas, Vettel right in front of him. He just had to kind of get around it and go. So he didn't he didn't gain a position from it because he would have been second anyway. And then, after Ocon got beaten around by Grosjean, he was driving the track like he was the only one on it. Like he was just in a practice session. He went from the wide left to get a nice little apex on the right-hand side, and Pierre Gasly was there. Pierre Gasly locked his rears to try and avoid the contact of Ocon just going across the track, and he spun into him, took him out of the race. Alonso had nowhere to go. Alonso had the worst start. Man, the McLarens had a terrible weekend.
He was like dead last after that incident, wasn't he?
Yep, dead last, looking over his shoulder.
Just thinking of Indy 500, just thinking of where he'd rather be, Le Mans.
Yep,
Indy.
he just won Le Mans the week before. And, then I think 5 drivers went into the pit lane after that point. Bottas made it back, Vettel made it back, changed his front wing. And a couple of the boys like Van Dorn, I think Alonso pitted just to try and change the strategy.
There's a name I haven't heard for a while, Van Dorn. He's kind of Van Gorn, isn't he?
Yeah. He's
doing nothing. He's just sort of...
just
blends in, kind of.
He was decent. I think the last 2 races he's been okay. He beat Fernando in this race. I think Fernando just wanted to get the fastest lap at the end of the Grand Prix. Safety car came out. Everyone bunched back up. Ricciardo was in 4th behind Sainz, Max and the douche canoe Hamilton. Then they went racing again. It was good. Heaps of overtaking. Cars that were somewhat evenly matched. Heaps of overtaking happened.
Good to see.
It was great to see. And
because we kind of didn't expect that much overtaking to happen. Or I didn't expect that.
Well, I looked at the track layout and I think there could be overtaking. You got a long straight. You've got some slowish corners. Yeah, the braking areas are shorter, but that's just because of how good F1's brakes are. But I was looking around, this is going to be a track to overtake. They didn't have any rain, and there was overtaking in the Formula 2 race, in GP3. But I like reading all the journalists and some of the TV pundits, like, this is going to be a boring Grand Prix, just like Canada, dull, dull, dull. I don't know any sport that talks so poorly about their own sport than F1. Now, the journalists who talk about this should talk it up and then afterwards analyse it. Don't go into a Grand Prix. You won't see any other sport going, this is going to be shit.
Yep.
Instead, just talk it up. It's a new track. It's not pretty. It's not picturesque.
No.
Not great for photos.
It's owned by Bernie Eccleston, so maybe that was why. People were just trying to give it some shit.
Yeah.
Because no one likes Bernie.
But it was a great race. Sure, the people who wanted to get to the track took them hours and hours and hours to get there with huge traffic delays. But if they went there, they saw a decent race. And I think it seemed that the French organisers were more happy with the TV ratings and less concerned about the traffic issues they had.
Yeah.
But hopefully next year they can address that. But all in all, I think it was a great weekend and a great race.
Welcome back to France. 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
First race.
Yeah.
And successful.
Top, the podium was the douche canoe, Max Verstappen, you said before, and the last lap, Raikkonen. Pole was Hamilton in front of Bottas and Vettel. And the Drivers' Championship is douche canoe still out in front.
A handy lead now.
Yep.
Skips in front.
Yep. And the Finger Boys second, and Ricciardo's jumped back up into third. The personality's overtaken Bottas.
It's almost seemed like Sebastian had too good a start. He was so quick that he kind of found himself sitting right behind Hamilton with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But then, was a bit overambitious with that move on the inside.
Yeah. It's the same with what happened with Max and Daniel. Daniel got behind him. Once they put the brakes on, you don't have that downforce to help you brake. So he braked a little bit hard, pinched a brake, and then he's going to go into the side of him.
But, that penalty on Sebastian, when you look at where Bottas ended up, we had to go into the pits with a punctured tyre. Sebastian gets out in front of him and finishes in front of him with more points. So the penalty for Sebastian doesn't really...
Yeah, 5 seconds is a bit weak.
It's a bit weak, considering the dude you've just taken out finishes way behind you.
Like, to put it into context, Sergei Sorokin, the poor man, the poor Rusky.
Poor old Rusky.
In the Williams, he got a 5-second penalty added to his time for driving unnecessarily slow behind the safety car.
He's in
That's right.
He's in a Williams.
He's in a Williams.
He's
going
full,
enough.
He's going full tilt in that thing.
Even behind the safety car. You can't penalise him for being in a Williams. Just cut him. So he got a 5-second penalty, which is the same penalty that Sebastian got for taking out a competitor at the first race, at the first lap, first corner, out of the race. Bottas isn't going to get on the podium from there.
It's not fair. The penalty doesn't fit the crime.
And Sergey gets 5 seconds for being in a Williams.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
He'll get a penalty every race from now on if they pull out the safety car. I can't keep up with that.
You're going too slow. You're in a Williams. Too slow.
So that's what I mean. In context, 5-second penalty.
Yeah. See, I think a better punishment for Vettel would be he has to go back into the pits, change Bottas's tyre for him, and he doesn't get to go anywhere until Bottas is out and about, and he has to wave him off
manually.
Yeah.
None of this air gun stuff.
No.
He's got to
get the little
lift it up, lift the jack up,
take it off,
take the wheel off, get the other wheel. Put it around the rim, inflate it to the certain PSI.
With a hand pump?
Hand pump?
Yep.
A foot pump. Those little foot pumps. Pump it up and then whack it back on, tighten it up with lug nut.
And clean his window. Maybe sponge and chamois the window.
Yeah.
And say, thank you, sir. Have a lovely day, sir. Wave him off.
See?
That's
a penalty.
That's only fair.
Really?
This has to be, we have to bring back.
Or maybe we could do a Seinfeld thing and he becomes his butler.
Yeah, for the race.
For the next race, he's the butler. He just gets him to do what he wants as some kind of punishment.
This is an idea for making F1 great again. When we throw some more ideas around, that is another great way to make Formula One great again.
I recently found the actual address for Liberty Media and the Formula One group.
Oh, really?
We went to the wrong address.
Damn it. Who was that old guy?
No. Where was Chase Carey? But we went to his personal residence. It had nothing to do with Liberty.
Right. That's why he was chasing us with a gun. That's why he wanted us to get off his lawn. Because it wasn't Liberty Media. That was his personal address.
Formula One management's in London. We got to go back again. British Grand Prix. We should go.
All right. Well, let's repackage those ideas and put them back
in. See, Pete's
got
a good cock. He can put a wager on.
Yeah. Back to the cock races for you, Pete. Producer Pete.
Another thing to touch on is our man, the personality Ricciardo. He got himself up to third. Decent race.
Yep.
But then he had some front wing damage. So at the start of the race, he had all of his front wing. And then as the Grand Prix went on, he started losing parts of the front wing. So he actually lost a couple of elements from each side of his front wing and therefore causing a lot of understeer and slow. Because before the pit stops, he was actually catching Max.
Yeah.
Hand over fist. And then he came out of the pits. They noticed the damage on the right-hand side, which is his left. And a couple of the elements were missing. And then as the Grand Prix went on, more elements fell off.
And I'm sure, we spoke about this earlier before we jumped on air, wasn't it Lance that was holding him up? I'm sure it was. He was like deliberately holding him up for the sake of Raikkonen.
Yeah, Lance was being a dick.
He's just... Can't stand him. Daddy's boy, Lance.
I can feel the fire from here coming out of your beautiful dress.
Well, that's the problem. Thank you. Williams have got to make the move and put Kubica, although Kubica, let's be honest, has dodged a bullet not having to drive that thing.
Yeah.
Get him in a McLaren. When Fernando goes, chuck him in.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Why not?
Anyway. Let's move on.
Put him in a Haas.
Who, Kubica?
Yeah.
He'd be pretty good in a Haas.
At least he'll get points, unlike Grosjean. Still on nil point.
Yeah.
The Frenchman.
He's rubbish. And he whinges non-stop.
Oh, we'll talk about that soon.
Has it been a good week for anyone this week, Luke?
Good week. It's been a good week for Lewis Hamilton. He got pole and he just took off. Clean race.
Clean.
Executed well after the disappointment in Canada.
Yeah.
He was a bit disappointing.
He did.
Normally in a track where he's won quite a bit. And
the Winjo meter went off.
Oh, it was off the scale.
Didn't it?
But now this week we've retuned it.
Yep.
And it's actually peaked pretty high. And Mad Max.
Mad Max had a good week.
He had a good week.
Yeah, he did.
Got second. Nice clean weekend. Didn't do anything stupid.
But the highlight has to be for Max, that interview.
Post-race interview. It was beautiful. And he asked them, it's my advice to everyone in this room, because he was asked about the Sebastian Vettel penalty, the 5 seconds. What do you
Where
think
he
about the
crashed into
penalty?
Bottas.
He goes, I think next time you see Seb, maybe you should tell him to change his driving style because honestly, it's not acceptable. What I love is he used the word honestly, which Sebastian uses all the time. And that's what he said. That's what you guys said to me at the beginning of the season. So I think you should say the same to him. And that's perfect.
Ooh, snap.
Perfect. Lewis Hamilton had this
Snapdragon.
sly grin on his face. Kimi had nothing on his
Correct.
face.
Well,
but
Kimi.
it was
He was
perfect.
drunk.
It's
Kimi's
like,
always
well,
drunk.
Go on. Ask him if he should change his approach.
Quoting Sebastian and sending it straight back after normally it's Sebastian saying those things about Max. So that was pretty, for a young kid, that's ballsy. That's pretty quick-witted.
It was good.
That was
He's
pretty
got
fun.
a good sense of humour. Ocon, Gasly contact out of the Grand Prix. Perez had an engine issue in the new Mercedes. The new Mercedes upgraded engine had an engine issue, so he exited the Grand Prix. And Stroll got a puncture from a previous lockup. He locked up pretty severely, and he was driving around on a 50-cent coin, and it was only a matter of time that the tyre exploded. That's why he brought out the virtual safety car, which brought out a slow end to the Grand Prix, which helped Carlos Sainz stay ahead of his teammate.
Yep. And that is the wrap-up. That's Luke's wrap-up. We kind of get a bit carried away, though, don't we? We always say it's going to be a quick wrap-up, but we end up just...
I can't be quick.
We can't do it. It's time now to hand out some awards, though. Can we do that?
I love awards.
We love it. And we have a plethora of awards. We're like an awards factory. We have producer Pete, who hand engraves them. He makes them every week. He's
Beautiful penmanship.
very nifty, very handsy, very handy. He's a crafty craftsman. Producer Pete. He's so crafty. So he has fashioned the Green Award, and that is for the smallest global carbon footprint. Mm-hmm. Who are you awarding that to this week?
This week, I'm awarding it to Force India.
Really?
Yes. So Ocon, he was taken out, and then Perez had the engine. So it's a double failure for Force India. They've saved a bit of fuel. And they're saving the planet. Thank you, Force India.
Doing your bit. Well done, Force India. Thank you for thinking of the environment. We appreciate that. The other award we need to hand out, well, there's a few awards, but the next one is the UGE Day Award.
I love when you say that right.
It's taken me a while, Luke, I'll be honest.
You're nailing it.
I feel
Last
like
3 weeks you got
I
it.
think I used to rush it. UGE Day. And UGE Day. UGE Day. But now I'm taking my time. UGE Day.
That's it.
And that's what you've got to do with
got a
those
nice
Japanese
cadence.
names. It's got a, it has. It's got a cadence. So this award celebrates the biggest waste of time on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Who wasted your time out there, Luke?
Oh, it was hard to choose. So I thought, you know
Please
what?
be Williams.
I asked Pete, I said to Pete, I'm like, can you make 3 awards this week?
Yeah.
Because 3 teams came away with nothing.
Yeah.
And that was
Wow.
Force India for the double retirement. McLaren didn't even make it out of Q1 and then didn't score any points. And then our best friends, the perennial UGE Day Award winners, the Williams team, who also came away with Jack All.
A 3-way.
A 3-way. So they'll have 1 each.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to share it. You can't split it.
No.
So they'll get 1 each. Congratulations, your French Grand Prix UGE Day Award.
Well done, guys. And beautiful craftsmanship, Pete, producer Pete, on those. And they look identical, all 3 of them. Like he has been just meticulous with his
The
craftsmanship.
German in him.
It is. Very meticulous. Never late for meetings. The next award is the Effing One Podcast Award, which is where a team or driver is making Formula One great again, doing their best, like we do our best. That's our motto. We try to make F1 great again with some super ideas.
Oh, fantastic.
Who took your eye this week for the Effing One Podcast Award?
Well, normally it's us. We've won it a couple of times.
Are we the carryover champs?
We are the carryover champs. But this week, we're not giving it to a team. We're not giving it to a driver. We're going to give it to a track. Paul Ricard.
Well done.
You're getting our F1 podcast Making F1 Great Again award.
Surpassed all expectations.
Yep. The only problem that they had, which had nothing to do with my enjoyment of the race,
So many blue lines.
was the people trying to get in. That
Yep.
took them, up to 9 hours to get to and from the track, which is deplorable.
Yeah.
But the racing, the track, well done.
I would have liked to have seen maybe some bollards to sort of indicate which way they were going to go
Yeah.
at the corner.
I like the craziness that you have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
You're a grown man.
It's like a Rubik's Cube.
Speaking of a grown man who can't find stuff,
Wearing a dress, like
wearing a dress.
the one that I'm wearing right now.
Not just you. The only other man who would wear a dress, and that's Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
Now, Lance Stroll, in one of the practice sessions, it started raining. So they declare the track wet, so that means the drivers have to turn their rain light on. Lance Stroll said, "Where's my rain light?" And then they're like,
Back to the briefing.
They started to talk to him, and then he's cut him off and gone, "Where's the rain light, guys? I don't know where it is."
I'm paying good money to be in this thing. Where's my rain light?
Now, Anthony Davidson on the Sky F1 broadcast said, "That's unacceptable," and I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's your car.
You need to know.
You drive the simulator so often,
Yeah.
and you are given. And if you watch the Total Driver documentary about McLaren, the drivers are given a thick manual handbook of what's on the steering wheel, where it is. You can customize it to wherever you want. So he should know
Yeah.
that where to find your rain light and where to switch it on.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for that whatsoever. So pick up your game, Lance.
Yeah. Have a look at the manual.
Yeah.
Open it
He
up.
should have it in the car.
It should be
in
there.
a little side pocket, and just lifts it out. Read it. Go through the appendix.
Yeah.
Find rain light.
Yeah.
Flick back to page 232. There it is.
That's what they say from the pit wall.
Yeah.
Grab the instruction manual.
Yeah.
Take a look yourself, you
Yeah.
lazy rich bitch.
You rich bitch. So yeah, I believe Paul Ricard gets the Effing One podcast Making F1 Great Again award.
Well deserved. Well deserved as well. And the I like this award we're handing out, the Dangerous Driving Award. It's a little figurine on a little statue
It's a
of
bobblehead.
little bobblehead of Pasta Maldonado.
Yeah.
And who
It's
gets
actually made out of pasta.
It is. It's the tubey pasta. Who gets the Dangerous Driving Award this week?
Well, the Dangerous Driving goes to 3 French drivers.
Ah.
Being a home Grand Prix, Grosjean crashes into Ocon on the main straight at the start, and then Gasly takes Ocon out further on in the first lap. It was a beautiful moment. There was bits of crust and dueling baguettes all over the track. They had to bring
wine.
out the safety car to clean it all up. Wine everywhere.
It was a little French mess. Three-way French mess.
So the 3
It was
drivers...
a menage a trois.
It was.
It was, wasn't it?
It was. But it didn't quite work out for all of them.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch.
Some peaked too soon and ended the race early.
Yep.
And Grosjean just wasted everyone's time.
And it was a lot of mess to
It was
wipe
just him
up.
by himself at the end, which is just weird.
Just a lot
in a
of
menage a trois.
discharge that needed to be cleaned up afterwards. Just oil and smoke and gas and
It's a
water.
French mess.
It's a French- the Lick It and Send It Awards, the best overtaking maneuver, Lucas.
So there
Who
was-
caught your eye?
There was a lot of overtaking this weekend.
There
It
was.
was nice to see.
Not just Kerr's overtaking. There was some
that's right.
actual...
No DRS assistance.
No.
No pressing a Kerr's button.
No.
None of that. It was pure battling wheel to wheel. There was a nice little battle between Raikkonen and Ricciardo.
Yep.
A nice little move on just dueling, like you saw Leclerc dueling against one of the Haas drivers, and heaps of overtaking from Vettel and Bottas making their way through the field. But the best move that I saw, that I feel is the best one, was Sebastian Vettel's on Fernando Alonso. Now, Fernando Alonso is a very good driver, and to go around the outside of a corner and shock Alonso so much that he goes into his own spin, that has to be the Lick It and Send It award.
Keeping in mind that we're ignoring the 2 other errors that Sebastian may have committed earlier in the race.
He licked it and hit it.
Yeah, he did a lot of licking, a lot of hitting.
Lick it and lock up.
Yeah, yeah.
Break it a front winger.
Break it a front wing
And yeah, but that move, that was a
on
good
the
move.
outside.
Like Ricciardo's move on Raikkonen was pretty easy, but not Raikkonen, on Vettel.
Yep.
Because the tyre age was different. But I think the way that Alonso spun as well, that was icing on the cake. That's a good
Didn't
move.
touch him. It just
Didn't touch him?
freaked him out so much that he went into a
Made
spin.
a little bit of a mistake.
Well done to you, Sebastian,
Yeah.
for the outside take on Fernando. And the fastest lap went to...
Valtteri Bottas with a 1 minute 34.225. The fastest pit stop was the Saubers again with a 2.32 pit stop. They're picking up their game.
Look at them go.
Driver of the day
Driver of the day.
was Sebastian Vettel.
Your driver of the day?
No, this was voted.
I was going to say.
This was voted by everyone
Doesn't make
who
sense.
watched the race.
Really?
Do you know what? I've found out. This is a scoop. The little paddle
Yeah.
behind Sebastian's little steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's a voting paddle.
He's voting for a driver of the day for
Press
himself.
it, bang, vote. Press it, bang, vote.
That's
There's
all he's-
no other way that he could get enough votes to beat everyone else.
That's what he's doing.
considering
He's
he
not
just-
changing gears. He's voting for himself.
Not changing brake balances. Bang, vote. Bang, vote.
Bam.
That's what he's doing all race, just voting for himself.
I mean, come on.
Honestly.
Let's have a look at some other drivers that did quite well. Who was...
Verstappen.
Verstappen.
Was second.
What about...
Verstappen didn't have to do much.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty good. Leclerc was good.
Leclerc was great again. That guy's Mr.
He
Consistent.
didn't take anyone out. He didn't crash anyone. He actually had a dive at Ricciardo on lap 1.
But Vettel, give me a break.
Took out
Anyway.
Bottas.
Yeah.
I think they may have looked over that. It was a good drive after that, but
But you can't cause that much damage in the first couple of laps and then expect to win it. All right. Well, producer Pete has made the Winjo meter. It's official, Luke. It's manufactured. It's perfect. It's fully operational. It's fashioned. He's fashioned it. Looks like it's made out of empty milk cartons and cereal boxes. But boy, it is spot on.
he's resourceful.
And the Winjo meter picks up whinges from the car, from the drivers, and it alerts us to a whinging driver, and we report on that. It makes a noise.
What kind
Do
of
we have a
noise?
recording of that noise? You did it earlier. Well, you pushed the button earlier for the whinge. Can you push that button again for us?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's the one. It sounds like a 6-month-old baby that's very, very
Accurate,
hungry.
very accurate. I actually had to punch a six-month-old baby to get that noise.
I think we actually just recorded it straight from Lewis Hamilton from normal conversations in the
Canada.
yeah.
We just went up and say,
Which
"Hey,
one?
Lewis," and he's
Just
made that
start
noise.
talking, Lewis. How's the car going?
Wow. Wow.
So, did the Winjo meter go off this week?
It
Luke?
pinged. It pinged twice.
Did it?
2 big whinges.
Yep.
One of them was Romain Grosjean on.
That's
of
not
course.
surprising.
Not surprising at all. When he was told that when he pits he has a 5-second penalty, he wasn't too happy. He says, "Why do I have a penalty? Really? You drove into the side of Ocon at the start of the race.
Yeah.
You just drove straight into the side of him, caused damage on his car, which his car didn't have to go much further. But you couldn't drive in a straight line. You just went and hit him.
And we were sitting here and the light was going crazy.
Oh, it was going
it was
mental.
going off and then the...
Oh, that's Grosjean.
Wah, 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 and we could tell straight away, Grosjean.
Grosjean.
It's bloody Grosjean. He's sending it off again. The Winjo meter. Did it? And for the other time, who did that go off?
It went off for Lance Stroll.
Another non-surprising.
When his tyre exploded, he was having a whinge.
Yeah.
But I would like to tell him that there's a reason why that exploded. It didn't just happen out of the blue. It's because you pushed the brake pedal too hard. You locked your brake up. You caused damage to your tyre, which was then driving around a 50-cent coin. And then, boom, it explodes. What do you expect?
What do you expect, mate?
Yeah.
What do you expect? And did he ask for if there was a button that he could push that would fix that tyre?
No.
No. Wow.
He was reading the manual.
The Winjo meter. I think we're going to get a lot of value out of this thing. Pete has put it together. Thank you, producer Pete.
Thanks,
for,
Pete.
The Winjo meter. Fully operational. Success. He is crafty. He's a crafty craftsman. He can fix anything. Or make anything. You just give just say, Pete, can you whittle a pony rocking
You're
horse?
a big fan of whittling.
Sure
I'll
enough,
give you that.
he's whittled a pony. He's very good.
Such a whittler.
He's a whittler.
Also, just before we jump into Austria,
Yep.
we saw Terry.
We did. We saw Terry.
Terry was
Okay,
there.
so a bit of background for Terry. He is the Haas mechanic that is always responsible for every single stuff up that seems to happen in the pits. And he does seem to jump from garage to garage. So he'll get bored of making mistakes at Haas.
Yeah. He went to Haas and he went to Ferrari and he went
Yeah.
to Force India, he went to McLaren. He's back at Force India.
He's the master of disguise.
Back
He'll
at Force India.
smuggle himself into the Williams garage with a slightly different mustache.
Interesting thing that this was actually inside the pit garage,
Oh,
so it was hidden away.
hidden away.
And he changed it was the left rear. He does like the left
He
rear.
does like the rear.
And then when Sergio Perez was on track, his left rear just came off. cause. And it wasn't like the lap that he'd come out of pits. He'd done a lap, and then this was his first fast lap.
It was a slow burn.
So he timed it perfectly.
Terry did a slow burn.
Slow burn, Tez. He's changed his. He's like, everyone's onto me.
Yeah,
with these wheels just coming off. So
I will tighten it, just not enough.
I'll tweak it. I'll have a little device and I'll just press the button and wheel comes off.
And then you hear the... and then he runs off.
He's assisted Muttley.
Yeah. He sounds like Muttley, and then he runs off to the next garage to cause trouble.
Yeah. So,
Unbelievable.
will Terry be in Austria?
Well spotted, Luke. Well spotted. You have a keen eye for spotting Terry, mate. You really do. Do you think he's going to turn up in Austria?
Yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
We're not sure where he's going to be, what crazy disguise. Sometimes it's a small mustache, sometimes it's a slightly larger mustache. He is very good at disguising himself.
Very good.
Now, you had a chance to talk to Sebastian Vettel post-race. Was it a Skype chat that you had with him?
Just had a quick chat on Skype with Sebastian.
Yep.
He was kind of matter of fact. He was okay with, where he came back to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He doesn't, because when he never answers the phone for me. He's very keen on you, Luke. So it's good that we have that you have that relationship with him, that he does.
Let's not say relationship.
Confide in you.
Let's not.
Is that the word? Confide?
Confide's fine. I'm fine with that. But
compliance is another word that you would use for it. But anyway, let's. We've got some suggestions. We'll get into that later on. Firstly, let's have
a chat with.
Let's have a chat with Sebastian. Can you play the recording of the Sebastian interview?
Of course I can.
That'd be great. Thank you. Hi.
Oh.
Hi. Look, can you see me? I'm on the Skype.
I can see you, Sebastian.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Are you doing the podcasty thing?
Still doing the podcast?
What's it called again?
It's called the Effing One Podcast.
I don't care. No, it doesn't matter. I'm
the
never
Effing One
listening.
Podcast, Sebastian.
Do you have a girlfriend yet, Lucky? What's going on?
No, Sebastian.
So you're no job, no girl. What's happening with you? Jesus.
Life's falling apart.
I told you, look, anytime you want to come travel with me around the world, in the races, you can carry my bags.
I don't want to touch
You want to
bags.
empty my bag? No? Okay,
No.
whatever. So tell me, what's your question today, please?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure,
give me your
whatever.
take on turn one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so yeah, right. Lights go out. I'm really fast off the mark, looking super uber groovy, yeah? Just also fast. And then suddenly I'm right behind the bot ass. And I thought, oh, Jesus, I see a little hole here in the bot ass. I'm going to go for it. I don't even care if I'm not invited. So I surprised him. I jammed it right in there real good. I went, ha, pow. Oh, wow, here I am. And then the accident, and he had unten puncture. So I went to the naughty corner for 5 seconds.
Did you think that was enough?
For me, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. That's great.
It's too long.
What happened to Bottas?
I think he's still there.
Yeah, that's a
laughing.
shame.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Another question is,
Yeah,
are
sure.
you going to change your driving style?
Why would you say this?
Because
Look,
when Max Verstappen has his incidents,
that little shit.
you've
That
suggested,
little Max, he's such a shit guy.
you've suggested
Yeah,
to him that
sure.
he'd change his driving style, and after you've had a
He needs
similar
to.
incident, driving in the back of someone,
Do you want to get
So he-
headbutted? Hey, looky, I'm going to headbutt you right now, you son of a bitch. Jesus Christ.
we're on Skype, mate. I don't think you can.
No, you're right, I can't. I can't hit this camera. No, I'm not changing my style. I'm coming second, and that's fine, and whatever. Oh, I'm going out. I'm going now. See you later, look. Bye.
Bye, Sebastian.
Ooh.
I had to ask it.
You had to go there, didn't you? Well, that's what makes you such a great interviewer, Luke.
I'm a journalist.
You're a journalist, and you don't compromise for friends. He is a friend of yours. Good. That was a scoop. Luke, Sebastian Vettel, nice that he had the time. Feels like he may not want to take our calls anymore.
Nah, we'll be fine. He'll see my face pop up. He'll answer that.
Yeah,
phone.
I think his love for you goes deep, runs really, really
Not
deep.
too deep.
It's not consensual.
Another thing I want to touch on is McLaren. So before the French Grand Prix, McLaren came out, and there was someone complaining because the McLaren, like the supervisor or managers, come around and they're giving staff Freddos if they meet deadlines and they do a good job.
Yeah,
they give them a Freddos, and that was the big talk of the paddock at the start of the weekend.
Pay me in Freddos.
So yeah, like they get paid. They'll get paid well.
Because nothing says, guys, you've done a great job with this car.
Like a Freddo. When, if I had a job and someone gave me a Freddo, I'd be pretty happy.
Pumped.
Freddos are pretty nice.
Totally.
You only get one,
Yeah.
but that's all right. I'd prefer a milky top.
Yeah.
Get a a combination
You
of the
don't need
flavors.
to, you just portion it off. Don't eat it all at once.
No.
Just have a little nibble.
Let it sit on your tongue, last
there.
for a while.
Let it permeate.
Yeah, through the nostril,
Mm.
permeate. So some disgruntled employees were like, you've got a job, mate. I don't have a job. You've got a job, and they give you Freddos. So you don't get paid in Freddos. You get paid a wage, and here's a little sugar on top. No, they don't want that. They want something substantial. No. Listen, McLaren, what kind of car are you designing, making, and driving? Piece of shit. Do you even deserve a Freddo? No. You don't deserve a single Freddo at all.
No.
I wouldn't even give you a Tic Tac.
No.
You don't deserve, not even an orange Tic Tac. I'll give you a mint Tic Tac, no orange Tic Tacs. And after the weekend they've had, no more Freddos again. Didn't even get out of Q1.
I'm loving this. This is Luke's rant. We're going to change this segment. We're going to have a segment called Luke's rant.
So take your Freddos and enjoy
shove
them.
it.
Enjoy them. You shouldn't get them. You shouldn't get your Freddos.
No, there was talk there was going to be Lindt chocolate.
Oh, no.
I mean, come on.
No.
They do
Not
not
a
deserve
chance.
Lindt.
Sauber might, they're Swiss.
Yeah.
But not McLaren. You're not designing a championship-winning car here.
They deserve nothing.
Yeah. You couldn't even get you don't even deserve a strawberry Freddo.
No.
Or a mint Freddo. No, you get a plain chocolate Freddo. You met your deadlines, but your car's still shit.
It's a good point.
If I was the manager, I'd reach down your throat and I'd pull the Freddo back out.
I'll have that back. Thanks very much. Now get back to
And
work.
I'll eat it.
Now get back to work.
Yeah.
Whew. Strong words. Are you all right?
I had to get that out.
Yeah. You look flushed.
I love Freddos.
Yeah, I know you do. You hate to see a wasted Freddo, especially on a shit car.
Imagine if Freddo sponsored McLaren.
That is genius. If Freddo Frogs had any sense, the marketing gurus, they would do that.
Jump on it.
There's a lot of room for advertising on that McLaren.
Maybe even Jaffas, because they're bright and orange. Maybe it could be
Just make it one big
Jaffa.
Jaffa. And have who needs a Freddo when you could be a Jaffa?
You could have Jaffas.
There you go.
There you go.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was feisty,
I need to
Luke.
calm down.
You need to calm down a little bit because now we're going to head into Austria, and we know that we need a clear, steady head when we head to Austria. Now, the Austrian circuit, Lucas, tell us about the circuit and who it favours. Who the last year, from memory, Bottas? Was that? Would I be right in saying Bottas was last year's winner?
Yep.
So a Mercedes track or a little bit for everybody?
Needs a bit of grunt. Austria, the land of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the land of Toto Wolff, and the land of Red Bull.
Yeah, it's Red Bull's home race.
Red Bull's home race. They bought the track. They redid it all. It was in ruins.
When's the last time they won their home Grand Prix?
I don't think they have.
It's not favourable for the Red Bull, is it?
No.
It's a high-speed track.
Yeah, they need a bit of power, but the Red Bull's a pretty good car.
You think that Red Bull would purchase a track that seems a little bit more conducive to their car?
Well, yeah, but I think if they had a decent engine, it would be a car that would, it'd be a track that would suit them.
And Monaco's expensive to buy. It's hard to transplant that to Austria.
It's very difficult.
To lift it up and bring it over,
Yeah.
it takes time.
At least 3 people.
Yeah, and a few Red Bulls to get the energy to do it.
So we're going into Austria. We're doing 71 laps.
Oh, das is good. You got
Ja, 4.318 kilometers.
Yeah.
There's 10 corners.
I prefer your German accent.
This is Austrian. I'm Arnold. I'm Toto.
Yeah.
I'm talking with power and passion.
Yeah. It's got that Austrian twang.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The lowest part of the track is 720 meters above sea level. So unlike Azerbaijan, which is underneath, this is above. The first Grand Prix, I've got French.
You have. You
It
can't
was
help
Grand Prix that
it.
ruined
Yeah,
it.
it does. You can't help it.
Shit.
It's okay. No. Hey, kudos. That was a good job.
First Grand Prix 1964. The 2017 pole position was Valtteri Bottas with a 1 minute 4.251. Sebastian Vettel second, Hamilton third. The race was Vettel came second in front of Ricciardo with Bottas out in clean air. There'll be 3 DRS zones this year between the main straight, between turns 1, 2, and 3 and 4.
There's a lot of straights. Looking at the track, it looks like a giant U.
Turns 9 and 10.
A lot of hairpins.
Some fast right-handers going downhill into turn 10. Beautiful little corner there. But some uphill braking into turns 1 and 3. Very impressive.
Yep. Does look pretty fast. Looks pretty quick.
This section 2 around here turns 5, 6, 7. Red Bull will be quite quick around there.
It's a shame it's not a bit longer. Fast track.
Fast track.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah. Mercedes upgrade. They've actually brought their a chassis upgrade for this race.
Yep.
That'll go with their engine upgrade. They do still have concerns over what happened with Perez's engine, if that's actually going to affect any of the other Mercedes teams. So your Williams, your Force Indias, and Mercedes themselves.
This is a kind of a natural segue into F1 news.
Very, very seamless segue.
Yeah, nicely done, Luke.
I'm going to see if I can try my Austrian accent again.
If you wouldn't mind.
This week, engine regulations
Yep.
for 2021 should be signed off sometime this week. Force India's 200th Grand Prix. 2019 aero changes. So the front wing, they're going to change it and change a few other things to try and increase the overtaking. And Ricardo is so close to signing.
With? For Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Red Bull. Here they give you wings.
Yeah.
So I reckon
Done
Mercedes
deal.
will stay the same. I think that Leclerc's
You
will
think he's
go
moving up?
to Ferrari.
He's done a good job.
Impressed so much.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
And he's wiping like he had trouble at the start of the year.
He is.
And then he kind of got his head around that he needs to just kind of change his driving style. He's done a fantastic job. He's gone wheel to wheel with Alonso.
He's murdering Ericsson. Murdering the stay-at-home
Viking. The Viking's given up.
He's just stuck to that sofa, doesn't he? With the Doritos all over him. He's depressed. He's down.
If I see a Dorito sponsorship on his helmet, I'd be so happy.
He's so good. So good. Well, that is good news for Leclerc. I actually thought that Dan would be going to Ferrari, but there you go.
I think we hoped for it, but I think Ferrari want to keep their driver 1-2. So having a senior driver and a junior driver kind of keeps Leclerc in his place. But if Leclerc does a really good job, which I think he will.
He's pretty good. And the flow-on effect is that...
Daniel's already proved himself against Sebastian. So,
he's got,
we want him to win a championship.
Yep.
But he'll beat
He's gonna
Seb
have to,
anyway.
I feel like he's going to have to do it quickly before Max really gets his head in the right space.
Before it becomes consistent.
Yeah, before it gets consistent.
Yeah.
And that has a flow-on effect now that if that Dan does take that seat for Red Bull, Carlos Sainz will stay with Renault. So the whole field have been waiting to see what Dan's going to be doing.
Yeah.
And it looks like...
So it'll stay the same, but I
same.
think McLaren
Kubica.
will lose Alonso.
He's
will go
gone.
to IndyCar.
He's gone.
But who's going to replace him? You need
Kubica.
someone who's...
Experienced.
They've got two good
That can
junior
develop
drivers.
a car. Someone that can develop a car.
They've got two good junior drivers with Lando Norris, who was leading GP.
But do
or
you
Formula
chuck in
2
another young kid?
against Van Dorn? No.
you
I
gotta
think
go
that's the reason why they courted Ricciardo, because they want some experience in the car. They need someone who's going to be a number one driver.
And Ricciardo was doing a little bit of, hey, by the way, Red Bull, I'm over here. I'm chatting to these guys.
Yeah, McLaren's
Get
just
the
offered me
checkbook
20
out.
million.
Check the check.
Daniel said that he doesn't care about the money. He wants to win a
Yeah.
championship. And if
Well,
the
he's
way
not
Red
going to
Bull are
McLaren.
going, and if Honda pull their finger out, it could be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So do you see
That's
a home
news.
for Kubica next year?
I would like to see him at Haas.
I like to see him at...
With the
Yeah.
Haas holes, because Grosjean's not doing anything.
Yep.
And I think Kubica's better one-handed than
Absolutely.
Grosjean. He's not going to drive into the side of people.
And less whingy.
Far less whingy.
He's a whinge bag.
Mm.
Interesting stuff. Thank you. That is Effing One News. And predictions.
So, the scoreboard, you were 6 up.
This is the constant, continuous competition we have between
Each
tipping.
other?
We tip the highest the qualifier, and the race win for each driver.
For each team, yep.
6 points up I was before this race.
Now you are 5 points up.
Ooh.
When I was going through the predictions, I was like, like at the start, you would like 2 ahead, then another 2 ahead. I'm like,
This is...
Jesus, I shouldn't have gone for Valtteri.
Where
Where
did
else
you-
did I lose out? I said Daniel would
I think I said
out-qualify.
I said Hartley would be in front of Gasly, didn't I?
You did.
I
So
did.
you lost one there.
I did.
Because Gasly out-qualified.
Yeah.
Hartley got some penalties afterwards, but in general qualifying pace, he was nowhere near. And I made some moves up with Magnussen.
He's been good. He has been good.
Yeah.
Well, 5 points.
5 points.
Well
That's
done,
where we're
sir.
at. So we need your predictions for
this-
the Austrian Grand Prix.
Okay. Well, very quickly, I'm going to go Hamilton, even though Bottas won last year. Oh, geez. Yeah, no, I'll stick with Hamilton for both.
For both?
Qualifying race.
I'm going to go Bottas.
Ferrari, I'm gonna say Sebastian for both. Poor old Raikkonen. It's old team orders. He's not got much of a choice, has he? Really?
I'm either going to lose a lot of points or I'm going to gain a lot of points. I'm going Raikkonen and Bottas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, you're going for it. You've got to go for it. You feel like you've got to go. You're
So if
panicking already.
Sebastian takes out Hamilton, then both of my points.
I feel like you're panicking a little bit, Lucas. That's
I am.
okay.
I
That's
am.
fine.
I'm just throwing caution to the wind.
Red Bull, I'm going to say Dan and Dan.
Dan.
Yep.
I'm going to go with
Who's in the-
Max
Yeah.
and Dan.
Okay.
Renault.
Hulkenberg and Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I think Hulk's going to smash him this weekend. Hulk smash. He had a bit of difficulty with his balance of the car on the weekend, but he came good in the race.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that virtual safety car and Carlos Sainz's KERS issue, he would have Hulkenberg would have been ahead of Sainz if it wasn't for the VSC. Force India.
Force India, I'm going to have the Suck My Balls. Suck My Balls.
Yeah, that's in Haas.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always get the two confused. I get
do.
Haas and Ericsson and Magnussen
Yeah.
always confused.
So Force
In
India.
that case,
Pepe Le Pew and the Tijuana Tussler.
I'm going to go Pepe.
Pepe. So you go Ocon. I'm also going to go the Ocons.
Well done, sir.
McLaren.
Fernando. And who's the other guy in there? No idea.
Don't know. I'm also going to go Alonso.
The Fods.
Toro Rosso.
I'd like to say Hartley, but I just don't have the heart. I don't have the heart for him anymore.
Lee?
I'm going to have to say the gas man. When's Hartley going to get replaced? That has to be moments away, doesn't it? Soon.
I'm going to go Hartley in Austria to do the team well.
All right.
Score a point.
Right on.
Sauber.
We'll go for Suck My Balls.
I would either choose between Ericsson or Leclerc, but you've also gone again for Kevin Magnussen in another team.
I always get those two confused.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will go... all right. I am going to say the stay-at-home Viking. I think...
You're going to who? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Stay-at-home is going to beat Leclerc.
I didn't hear. Sorry.
The stay-at-home.
Just...
I'm not doing it.
No,
I'm not doing it. Because every time I do it, he doesn't win.
All right.
It's not... Yeah.
But he did a good... There was one time he did. He did a good job.
Yeah, well, he was pretty good.
It's a law of averages.
Yeah.
It rarely happens. Haas. So you've talked about Magnussen a couple of times.
I'm going to go Suck My Balls.
Right.
Can I say that now?
Yep. And I will also go Magnussen
Oh, God,
because
and
Grosjean
Williams.
shit. Williams.
Oh,
Who
God.
cares?
Who cares? What a waste of time. The Rusky.
Rusky.
Certainly not the paid driver.
And I'm going to go with the Rusky as well. Just so I don't lose any points off you.
There's a fair amount of difference we've got there, Luke.
At the top end, yes. And
5
you went for
points.
Ericsson. I don't know why. Toro Rosso, yeah.
I just think maybe he might do well. Probably not.
Yeah. Well, like you might.
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah.
You live in hope.
5 points up. Let's see
You
how
are
we go.
5 points up, so I can't really argue with your strategy.
We'll soon find out how I sit. And now we have... Oh, it's time for... At Home with Kimi. Nice. We could release a duet
so
album.
harmonic.
So beautiful. We need to release an album. So Kimi Räikkönen, who doesn't love the guy? God, he's just a crazy madcap character. We
Full of beans.
Full of beans. And he's always into mischief. And we love to know what he's up to right now. What's Kimi doing right now? So what in Finland, it's probably early morning. He's getting up. He's having some the Finnish equivalent of Whippix. Probably Hootboxen. He's sitting and he's probably getting dressed. And we have had a request from one of our listeners from the Effing One podcast Twitter page. And they would like to see Kimi getting up in the morning trying to find his sock.
He's got odd socks.
Whenever
you do your washing, you always find that there's a sock that's just gone missing.
Yeah.
This is where we've interrupted Kimi's morning.
Yeah. So this is Kimi waking up, and we're just basically crossing to Kimi right now in Finland. Let's go check him out.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey! What a lovely morning. Oh, Finland. I love you. Okay. Oh, the vodka bottles are everywhere. Let me just see if I can find my sock. There's one. It's a pink one. Okay, that's a problem. Okay. Oh, I got the Santa Claus sock. Oh, these are different socks. Two totally different socks. Hey, guys. What did I do with my washing? Oh, no. Whoa. I can't find a socks that match. This is crazy. Oh, God damn it.
And that was
At Home with Kimi.
What a madcap character.
He's very alert in the morning.
He is.
I do not have that
He doesn't.
anger
No.
in the morning.
We go for a glass of water in the morning. He goes for vodka.
Straight for the vodka.
Straight for the vodka. And it seems to work. Well, Austria, Red Bull home is the next race. So now it's time for Effing What? What crazy facts have you got? What are you going to blow our mind with today,
So this
Lucas?
week, I'm going to blow your mind with a bit of driver fitness and the condition that Formula 1 drivers find themselves in.
How fit is a Formula One driver?
Fit, mate. They're bloody fit.
Really?
Fit, and they know it.
How fit, mate?
Very fit.
All right, I
Look
believe
it up.
it.
She's a bit fit, isn't he? So, yeah, the Formula 1 drivers, what they have to go through, the temperatures they get into, and also their body fat percentage. And comparing it with, average Joe like you and me.
Like the same quantity of fat as a pork scratching. Pork crisp.
Pork crackling. And other athletes of the similar nature.
Mm-hmm.
But
Lawn bowlers. We're up there with the same kind of fat content as a lawn bowler, you and I. We're just, still an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, that most 80-year-olds can play. We have that physique and that stamina.
We're not quite as fit as a snooker player.
Oh, no.
But we're
I couldn't get my leg over the table.
No.
Driver fitness and what they have to go through. So I'm reading an article about their stamina that the former Toyota F1 doctor said that drivers' average heart rate in a Grand Prix is around 180 beats a minute, which if I'm sprinting, very hard for, doing a 200-meter race. The race where your legs burn in the last 30 meters. That's the heart rate that you'd be achieving for 90 minutes to 2 hours of a Grand Prix.
That's hard to imagine. Because you don't think, you're sitting there just lying, they're just basically sitting there.
Yeah.
But they're actually having a full workout.
Yeah. Because there's concentration, there's adrenaline, everything that's pumping their heart at such a heart rate. I'm sure it would drop to around the 140s at some point, maybe under a safety car. They could drop down even further. Fighting fatigue for the entire Grand Prix. In the past, you would see Nigel Mansell and Nelson Piquet. They would faint on the podium, or as soon as they get out of the car, they'd drop off. And driver fitness was never a huge thing until Michael Schumacher sort of really started to put F1 fitness on the map. And he worked hard and worked out, and by shedding driver weight, that means they could put more weight in the car and ballast in areas that would suit the car to make it faster.
Is it true that they would lose a few kilos of liquid? Like I heard a few years back, like 4 kilos or that rings a bell.
During Singapore and Malaysia, they'd lose 5 kilos of fluid.
That's a lot of weight. So they're just hydrating like crazy before they jump in there.
Yeah, but not too much.
Because then you have extra weight in the car.
Yeah. So they would have a 1 litre bottle that they're allowed in the car. They won't go bigger. But in races like Singapore, that's after about lap 15, it's actually warm and turns hot.
It's moist
Because
down there.
in the confines of the cockpit, you got body temperature. You've also got your engine temps, your radiators are right beside the car, right beside the driver. So it gets a little bit hot. It can get up to 60 degrees in the cockpit.
Yep.
And think about a driver. They've got boots. They've got their fireproof overalls that go from their ankles all the way up to their neck. Then they've got their balaclava over the top of it. They're wearing gloves. They've got socks, shoes, and then their overalls. So they have no air ventilation in the car. Mark Webber, they did a little documentary on driver fitness and body fat percentage, and they actually swallow a pill, and he'll wear a little harness in the car to actually watch his temperature. Now at 40 degrees, over 40 degrees, you can actually become hypothermic,
Yeah.
and you can also can cause heat stroke.
Right.
And during, I think it was Malaysia, Mark was between 40 and 41 degrees. So they have to train at this temperature and this humidity so that when they go to the hotter races, that they're kind of used to it.
That they're not going to pass out.
Yeah. So if you were to go to like Melbourne, which is quite, it's not humid, it's pretty coolish, and then you head up to Malaysia
Singapore,
straight
Malaysia.
away.
Yep.
Even a night race in Singapore, that's the reason why they have to race at night, because it's too hot during the day.
Yeah.
And it's thick, it's really
Yeah.
disgusting.
It's
and
90%
muggy.
humidity.
And when you sweat in the car, there's no air to evaporate it. So effectively everything just becomes an insulator, so you get even hotter.
Yeah.
So Mark Webber his body fat percentage when he was racing in F1 was 4% body fat, which is incredibly low. Mark was a tall driver, so he had to be really lean. So he was about 6'1", 185 centimeters, and he had to be in the low 70 kilos, which is pretty tiny for someone that tall. But you have to have the strength and the ability so you can drive an F1 car. You need to push, we talked about brake pressures, you're pushing, 180 kilos, 200 kilos, 230 kilos on your brake pedal.
Yeah.
You need to still have that strength to be able to do that for an entire Grand Prix. So
What would their fitness regime look like? Not probably weights, because that would put weight on.
it's light weights, high repetitions.
Yeah, a lot of cardio.
Yeah. So they would do, in a pre-season, drivers would do 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. So that's pretty much your work day.
Yep.
So they do it in the morning and they do some in the afternoon. For 6 days, they'd have a rest day. But they push themselves pretty hard.
A lot of salads.
It's a lot of salad.
Quinoa salad. It's
You
disgusting.
just love saying quinoa. Triathletes, like male triathletes, their body fat percentage is in the 6 to 12%.
So the Formula One driver
Mark Webber
has less body fat than...
A triathlete.
Wow.
Yeah. So when Mark left F1 and got into World Endurance Championship, he let himself go. He let himself go to 5%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how much he relaxed his diet. He put on an extra percentage, and you couldn't tell. But that man was lean. He was super fit. Like he was easily the fittest driver in F1. Him and Jenson Button were both quite lean. Jenson did a lot of triathlons. But yeah, that's what they have to go through.
I think we should do a little fat test on ourselves before we podcast.
I don't think they've got the pincher that goes wide enough to get my fat rolls.
I reckon it would be... I think we'd surprise ourselves. We are surprisingly
Maybe we should do a
fit.
fitness regime.
Yeah.
To go, all right, well, let's do an F1 driver.
I think we should do a podcast while we're on the bike. On some sort of exercise bike.
I don't
or
mind
cross-trainer.
cycling, so I think I'd be fine. But I think if I was running, I'd struggle.
I'd be rooted.
Cycling,
I'm gonna be honest with
I
you.
could have a decent
I'd
conversation.
have a heart attack. I don't know if I could handle it.
We'll get the paddles beside the bike.
Yeah, I'd have like chocolate bars stashed everywhere.
So I am in shape. I just chose round.
Yeah, it's a good shape. Yeah, it works for you. It works. And it's easy to squeeze.
It's winter. I'm insulated.
It's a winter coat. I love your winter coat.
It's an Antarctic coat. That's how thick it is.
You would survive beautifully on the ice shelves. Well, that is the effing... What? They're surprisingly fit, those Formula One drivers.
Yeah.
So that is it. Austria, Red Bull Home GP is the next race. So make sure you watch out for the Effing One wrap-up right here, Effing One Podcast Twitter page, #1 Twitter page. A big thanks to Luke's mum for this wonderful spread,
Hi,
by
Mum.
the way. Luke's mum, you sweet angel, what have you baked up today? Look at this. Look at this smorgasbord.
There is so many sausages here.
There's a lot of Austrian sausage.
Yep.
And I was going to say your mum loves Austrian sausage, but that's not the case. She loves to cook sausage.
She loves the sausage.
She does. Has she been
She
making...
loves a good sausage in her hands.
Yes, she does.
She just slap the meat in her hands. Just make that.
Yeah.
Yes. She loves a good hefty bit of meat.
Yeah, she's really handy with some meat in the hand. Strudel, is that what that is?
That's strudel.
That looks yum. Pretzels over here.
Pretzels.
I feel like there's a lot of food. I feel like there's
too much for us. I don't know what she does with the rest. No,
that-
it was in a homeless shelter. Remember, she drops that off.
That's yeah. She comes past. We
Bad if we go to a vegetarian homeless shelter right now because there's a lot of meat.
there's a lot of that's Schweinehaxen right there. That's what that is. That's a pork leg.
Get your hands off my finer house.
My Schweinehaxen. Delicious. Well, let's get into this food, shall we? Because it is a
It's not gonna eat
smorgasbord.
itself.
It's certainly not. Well, make sure you can get hold of us for comments on our Twitter page. Tell us what you like, what you don't like at the FE1 Podcast Twitter page. And we are getting into Austria. Let's do it.